Allora, do la parola subito a Franz Fischer con l'ultima rivista e ringrazio anche Marta che ci sta salutando con i suoi disegni. Ricordo tutti di nuovo, perché è probabile che ci siano delle persone che non erano presenti gli altri giorni, che il book of abstract del convegno è già a disposizione, stiamo correggendo i refusi che voi stessi ci avete segnalato, ha un ISBN. Però dentro cosa ci sono? Ci sono dei progetti che possono essere ancora più estesi e quindi presentati come diciamo articolo scientifico a pieno titolo, e abbiamo per questo invitato 3 riviste scientifiche a presentare, sì, idonee, mentre stamattina abbiamo sentito una rivista più di carattere più divulgativo, a mio avviso altrettanto interessante e importante per i ricercatori per presentare le proprie ricerche. Non prendo altro tempo e do la parola a Franz Fischer dell'ultima nata, che già si presenta come una delle riviste leader delle Digital Humanities in Italia, Magazén. Vai Franz.
Ja, grazie Enrica e grazie ai organizzatori di darmi questa opportunità di presentare Magazén. So I now switch to English, otherwise I will torture you too much. Magazén is published by the Venice Center for Digital and Public Humanities and Edizioni Ca' Foscari, funded with financial support by an excellent grant by the Italian Ministry for Education, Universities and Research. It is an interdisciplinary open access journal undergoing double-blind peer review to be published twice a year on disciplinary domains ranging from textbook scholarships, history, art history, to cultural heritage studies and archaeology, so reflecting the expertise of my colleagues at the center and the humanities department of Ca' Foscari University. So the best of our journal is the title. I hope I can move forward here with the slides now. Yeah. The Venetian version of Magazzino, Italian, or Magazin, French for shop, or a magazine, of course, for in English for journal. It refers to the public houses in Venice during the Serenissima, Magazzini, places for any kind of information exchange or bargain deals for drinks and even amorous adventures. So basically everything you would expect from an interesting journal. And several street names refer to these houses in Venice still. The Calle, here is another one. So this is not Photoshop, this is just right behind the Archivio di Stato. As for the origin and etymology, Lorenzo Tomasin, in honor of our first issue, prepared the entry Magazén in the Vocabolario Storico-Etimologico del Veneziano, cross-published as a special feature in the second issue of our next volume. And I can say as much that obviously of Arabic origin, it is the Venetians and not the Pisani, as commonly believed until today. So I'm sorry for my friends from Pisa, that the Venetian word Magazén is the oldest attested version of magazine in Europe. So the other best thing of our journal is the board. The editorial board, many of which are familiar to the tendencies here of the conference, including Federico Boschetti, co-chair of the conference, many others, and our advisory board, an illustrious and distinguished list of scholars from Italy and abroad, among which also Andreas, who had the keynote earlier today. The most important thing, of course, is the content. We issued a call for papers earlier last year on the concept of fusions, embracing any kind of interrelation and cross-contamination of approaches and practices in our field. This is the first result of a rigorous peer review process. 2 volumes published quickly, one after another, squeezed into the last slot of last year to make sure we have 2 issues out in the calendar year 2020 2020 because the Italian ministry inadvertently changed the conditions for the inclusion of journals into the Fascia A, so which is our goal to get to, and to also attract, or especially attract also Italian scholars who need the credits. So thank you very much for the authors and the reviewers and the editors. Each of these issues contain 5 takes on the field, 3 general reflections on the topic from a specific perspective, including one by our conference chair in Rica, and 2 studies, case studies on specific topics. There won't be a print version. Our publisher completely abandoned print publications, regrettably in a way, but understandably. However, we are evaluating print-on-demand solution for book lovers, but this is not decided yet. We will be working in the next few weeks on a web version with special features, so one of which will be to apply transversal domains, or to be explicit about transversal domains that has been specified in the call and also stated in our introduction of the first volume, to offer keys and alternative ways of entering the field of digital and public humanities, similar to what Andreas Fickers mentioned in relation to the new digital public history journal earlier, to make explicit the hermeneutical layer of our work and providing information also about the data layer and the narrative layer. So the kind of materials, the media of representation, methods applied, modes of sharing, and actors, factors, and agents of the chosen field. We will also apply the credit contributor roles taxonomy, reflecting the various forms of collaborative research in digital and public humanities projects or publications. I hope the journal will, or we all hope the journal will be useful to complement the publishing venues already presented here at the conference, and creating further visibility of excellent scholarship in the field of digital and public humanities in Italy and abroad. The schedule for the year is we are starting peer review right now for the second issue, again on the topic of fusions, maybe slightly extended to consolidations. The first issue will then be published end of June, and the second in December. At the next board meeting, we will also discuss the topic of the next volume 2022, maybe reconstructions. That was a suggestion from the advisory board, but I mean, we are also very open for suggestions as regard contents or topics for future issues or volumes, as well as features. So if you have suggestions or remarks, or if you want to submit something, yeah, please get in contact with me directly or with the colleagues from the editorial board. I think that's all I have to say. I meet the time limit, I think so. Thank you very much. You have questions?
Thank you. See, there is a question actually, if you wanted to answer. Rachele Sprugnoli is asking how a digital humanist could choose between Magazén and Humanistica Digitale. So what do you think is the main point of your review in confrontation of the other?
I think that's a matter of taste. We will always have a leading topic. And I think the Italian landscape is large enough to have 2 journals in the field, or even more, as we have seen. So I think that depends really on what you think suits best at the moment. Maybe also a question of timing. So that's should be an individual choice. One thing, of course, the editors of the journal of the AIUCD are very much invited to publish with Magazén, because that is then better for the ranking. So if you publish your articles in your own journal, that's not well regarded from evaluators. So that's an option, and the other way around. So our editors are not supposed to publish in our journal. So they definitely, and I myself will definitely be much better to publish in other journals. So
thank you very much, Franz. I really thank you for your presentation.